Hello, beautiful family. Welcome back to the Victory TV channel. Your home of healing, truth, growth, and learning how to live a life that honors your identity. My name is J Victory, your host, your sister, your friend, and your fellow traveler on this journey of emotional and spiritual transformation. So before we get in today's conversation, remember that the Victory TV also offers professional voiceover services for adverts, documentaries, narrations, corporate trainings, and corporate training materials, and more. If you need powerful, clean, and engaging high quality voiceovers, you can reach us out at +2547903779726, and you can email us through akhongvictory@gmail.com. Now, family, today's topic is quite deep. It's not a light conversation, it's a conversation that most of us have been waiting for, and the day is finally here. It's not a surface level story, it's just a message that many of us need because it has shaped our entire lives silently. So today we are talking about the danger of people pleasing and how to break free from this danger, the danger of people pleasing. So people pleasing is one of those things that feels like love. It looks like kindness if you look at it, and it appears like humility, but the truth is it's a slow death. It's a silent prison, and many of us have lived inside many of us have actually lived inside this prison for years. And today we are opening the door of breaking the chains of people pleasing, and today we are choosing freedom over enslavery. So today I just want you to take a deep breath, relax, sit with me, and let's journey through this together. So I know someone might be asking what is people pleasing and how does it look like? People pleasing is when you say yes while your heart is screaming a very big no. People pleasing is giving what you do not have to people. It's lowering your voice so that other people can speak. It's shrinking yourself so that others can feel big. You just like suppress yourself so much because you want other people to feel bigger. It's apologizing for the things that you've not done, yeah, and betraying yourself to protect other people's emotions. That is what people pleasing looks like. So, in other words, I'm trying to say that people pleasing is self-abandonment. It's emotional slavery. It's a trauma response dressed like generosity mostly. You are not created to keep everyone around you happy. You are not created to carry the emotional weight of the world. And you are not created to dim your light so that other people can shine. People pleasing is basically fear in disguise. I've talked about fear, so I can say that people pleasing is fear in disguise. It's the fear of rejection, it's the fear of conflict, it's the fear of disappointment, it's the fear of being seen as difficult. For actually, it's the fear of someone leaving you mostly. This applies to people who have this character. You fear people leaving you. But there's a deeper truth that is actually people pleasing is always born from a wound. And today I just want us to understand what people pleasing is. But I think by now you all know that I love storytelling. I love creating stories because I believe like storytelling is one way of us just understanding a particular concept. So let me take you to there, back to an African village, specifically here in Kenya. And today I am talking about a village in the western part of Kenya, that is Kisii. So somewhere between the rolling hills of Kisii and the warm breeze of Lake Victoria, there lived a girl by the name Wanjiru. And Wanjiru was loved by everyone because she never argued with people. She never refused when she was assigned some duties to do. If someone needed help from her, she would say she will say yes, she wouldn't say no, and that made people love her a lot. But her heart was tired, even though people never knew that her heart was tired. So one day a neighbor came and said, Wanjiru, please help me look after my sick mother. And even though she had chores, she just like accepted to do whatever she was told to do. Another neighbor again will come and say, Wanjiru, please lend me some amount of money. And deep down, she knows that that's the only penny she has left. She even hasn't eaten. But she'll agree to it and give it out. Another person again will come with a different story. Wanjiru, can you please help me harvest maize? Here again, our Wanjiru goes ahead and helps the person to harvest maize, you know? And one day, she really felt so ill. She was so ill, she was weak, she was exhausted and even dizzy. So, but despite all this, she still dragged herself into helping people who came to ask for particular favors. And as she walked, I remember when she walked, she fainted. So the elders who were within that scene where she fainted came around. They came and gathered around her, and the one old woman who was respected and because she was old, wise, looked at her and said to her that, "Child, even a calabash that carries water for the entire village must be filled sometimes." For someone who is listening to me, please take this line very seriously. I'm trying to just compose a story for you. And Wanjiru realized something from the whole statement that that old woman gave to her, that you can give until you disappear, mostly. You can like care for others until there's nothing left for you. You can serve until your spirit collapses, you know it actually gives up. So 10 represents a million of us. We carry and carry and carry people who don't even carry us. Like we know very well there is no one who can carry us, but we carry the weights of other people. So I want us to now understand deeply what's the root cause of people pleasing. So people pleasing, it doesn't start at it doesn't start in adulthood. Mostly it begins in childhood. And many African children have grown up here listening to these words like don't talk to people, don't talk back at people. Some people have been told to respect their elders even when the elders have disrespected them. You're just told to respect them with this kind of a lie that elders will curse you. So you fear being cursed. You just have to accept even when an elder has disrespected you. You must be the good actually your parents will tell you that you must be the good child that people will see and embrace in the village. And at times you'll be told that family comes first even if it destroys you. So your emotions don't matter at all. You'll find that your emotions don't really matter at all because you've been taught on how to suppress how you feel, that your voice has been silenced by the people who are around you. And we actually learn that love must be earned. You need to earn love. Mostly we will do things to please people around us so that they can love us. So you are taught like love must be earned. You are taught that approval is survival. You have to approve, you have to do things to get approved. And we learned that our needs are less important than keeping the peace. You like at times someone might have offended you. You want like to address it, but you feel like when you address it, it's gonna be now chaos. So you just have to choose peace and let you let your feelings suppress. So that is how actually that is basically how how people pleasing comes in. And trauma forms. How does trauma form from all this? If you cried, you are told that you are weak, and this mostly applied to young boys who right now are men. We have so much of we have a lot of men going through shit, but they can't just express how they felt because when they were young, they were told that if they cried, they were too weak, so they had to express their masculinity by just being tough even when they felt like they're at their lowest point, you know. And you also taught that if you said no, you will be punished very severely. It was, I think it's one of the things that people have just grown up, you know. You just have to hide some of your feelings because you feel like you'll be judged, you'll be punished heavily. You also taught that if you disagreed, you will actually be labeled rude, you know. When you disagree to some things, your parents or even your elder siblings will say that you're the rudest, and they'll call you rude. They'll even call you a rebel, and you just have to please them. So at times you agree to things that even don't, to opinions that really don't align with your values, you know. And some of us have been taught to express pain. Like I've been taught that if you express pain, they will actually you will be told that you have to tighten up, that your pain was actually invalidated, you know. And so you become the good child eventually because of all this. You become the most quiet child because your voice was silenced. You become the most responsible one because you want to satisfy the people around you, so you become the most responsible person, you know. You even become the peacekeeper in the entire congregation because you are taught to keep peace. You are taught that if you will say some things that you will bring in chaos, so you have to maintain peace. So you become the peacekeeper, and in the process, actually lose your voice. So, what are the signs that you are a people pleaser? Number one, you apologize for the things that you've not done. Number two, you fear saying no, even when you feel like you want to say no. Number three, you avoid conflicts by all means. This is now for the people who love now making peace in the name of, let me just do this for the sake of peace. No, you don't have to do that for the sake of peace. Another thing, you want like everyone to think you're good. Oh no, you cannot please everyone. Come on. At times you actually feel guilty when you rest. And now this one, I think it's something that has been normalized in our African homes. Mostly when we will see our moms, let's say you are just seated and then your mom comes in the house, you will start doing things just because you fear that maybe they'll yell at you. You don't know how they're gonna view you just being seated doing nothing, so you just have to like act as if you are doing nothing, you're doing something. And at times now, when your dad would walk inside the house, you have to run because you feel like he'll start issues, you know. It is something that has been normalized. So you actually feel guilty for resting. You can imagine that. So these all characters mostly will attract you to users, manipulators, and even narcissists because you don't have any boundaries with you. Your voice has been silenced, you know, and you actually feel reasonable for other people's emotions, you know, like you feel responsible for other people's emotions. Like let's say someone around you has just gone silent, you'll start blaming yourself. Have I done this? Have I done this and this and this and this? Oh no, come on. So at times you just have to, you'll actually always, when someone comes and seek for a favor, you'll keep on saying yes immediately and regret it privately. Now when you're alone, you start asking yourself, why did I agree to this, you know? So you'll actually smile when you're hurting, but deep, oh no. I think also this has been normalized. People just smile when deep inside they're really hurting because be they always say behind every beautiful smile there is a story to tell. So you've normalized that tale, you know. And then you'll actually feel, with all these things that you're doing, mostly you'll always feel empty from the inside. So if any of this hit home, just know that this whole video that I'm doing is actually a freedom message for you to be able now to understand on how you can walk yourself into the journey of self-freedom. So even the Bible itself, like if I'm to relate this with spirituality from how we understand the Bible, like God does not like people pleasers, because even Jesus himself did not please people. He only pleased God. And you can tell that from the commandments. He actually did the commandments, the from not the commandments, the temptation of Jesus. He didn't do things to please the world or Satan. Instead, he did things that pleased God, you know. And You can tell from when he walked into the temple and found people selling. People had turned the temple into a selling ground, and the way he now chose to flog people there, he didn't please anyone there because he was a son of God. Instead, he chose to serve God and only please God. So it's your duty to only please God and yourself and not everyone around you. In the book of Galatians chapter 1 verse 10, if I'm not wrong, it says that if I was still trying to please a man, I will not be a servant of Christ. Please go read that word. It says that way. And when I was tackling toxic parents and healing the inner child, I mentioned about learning to set boundaries, and I mentioned a book in Matthew where I told you that let your yes be a yes and your no be a no. You can see that the Bible itself says that you shouldn't please people. You understand? And what other verse do I really understand? In the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 25, it says that whoever pleases, the fear of a man actually is a trap. Yeah, that's the actual verse. The fear of a man is a trap. So you also need to understand that God does not like people pleasers. He wants you to be bold enough to stand for yourself. God did not create you to be a doormat for people. He did not. He did not create you to be voiceless. Instead, he gave you that voice to speak for yourself. He did not create you to be emotionally enslaved by people. So you don't have to let people enslave you emotionally because you feel like you're gonna lose these people. God actually created you to be so bold enough, to be confident, to be a whole version of yourself, and to be free. Always root for God. You don't have to root for human beings because human beings will always disappoint you each and every single day. And the effects of people pleasing, basically, it actually steals your joy, it steals your identity, it steals your strength, it steals your peace because you'll keep on questioning yourself so many times. It kills your confidence, and it even kills your authenticity because mostly you'll always be asking yourself, why is it only happening to me? Why is it not happening to other people? And most of the times when you'll always ask yourself all these questions, you'll realize that you have no you have no answers to the questions you ask yourself. Instead, people pleasing again will actually it will actually lead you into a burnout. It will lead you to resentment, it will lead you to depression, to anxiety, and mostly it will land you to toxic relationships. And this is now where people actually find themselves in relationships. You might be in palliative. I don't know how to put it. It will land you into different kind of relationships. You'll be platonic friendships. You can be in erotic friendships, in just whatever kind of friendship that you're involved in, and then you attract people who abuse you verbally, emotionally, spiritually. You'll find people who will be there to just to bring you down, but you can't let go of them. Instead, you'll trauma bond to these people because you just like fear letting go of these people. You've not been taught on how to speak for yourself. And mostly you'll find out with all these, it will actually lead you to emotional exhaustion. It will even lead you to self-hate because you'll hate yourself more than you hate the people who have offended you. So people pleasing, basically, it kills people, and it always happens slowly. It kills you slowly. It kills the version that was supposed to be out here speaking. It kills you slowly. And I thank God for my grandmom. She's still alive. She once told me that no man, however great, is greater than his people. And by this, what did she mean? She actually meant that you do not have to isolate yourself to be loved by people around you. I thank God for the voice she gave to me because I have never felt guilty telling someone no. And most people will always say that I'm too strict. Some people will call me toxic because I've always expressed how I feel. In fact, my elder cousin was telling me, Victory, if you feel like you are angry, if someone has offended you and you feel like there is anger in you, please don't postpone your anger. Show it to them that you are angry. Let them feel that they have wronged you and you feel angry. And I feel like they helped me because right now I cannot let myself get killed emotionally when someone who has offended me is out there happily living. You just have to like express to people that you also have a voice, And someone else again said that he who tries to please everybody always end up it always okay. He who tries pleasing everyone ends up pleasing nobody. You can imagine that, because these people you're trying to please, they don't even know when you're putting in efforts to please them. So remember that you'll always be alone, and you'll always be enough. You don't have to feel guilty for saying no. You don't have to feel guilty for saying yes. And how do we break free from this bondage of people pleasing? Number one, you just have to learn to say no. And mostly when you say it no, when you say this no, you can say it slowly. No. You can say it calmly. No. You can say it clearly. No. Let it be bold. Let these people know that your no is a no. And then you also don't need to explain yourself. Most of us will say, no, I'm saying no because, no, you just have to say no. They shouldn't understand why you're saying no. Let them know that it's a no. You also have to make your boundaries holy, because boundaries were meant to be holy and to free us from this emotional slavery. So, build boundaries without guilt. Boundaries are self-love. Boundaries are actually a protection. They protect us from from feeling down. Boundaries are actually a mode of us to survive. They help us to survive. And you also need to heal your inner child. I've done a whole episode on healing the inner child. Please heal that wound, the wound that you've lived with for the longest. Give yourself the love that younger version of you never received. Give yourself the voice that the younger version of you never received when you were young. And stop apologizing for existence. You don't have to apologize for you to exist. Number one, you remember that you matter. Your needs too matter, and your feelings are valid. They're valid and they matter a lot. So you don't have to apologize even when you're not wrong. All I understand that this word sorry is difficult for people to say, but when you say sorry, people will respect you. Now you can say your sorries with boundaries. Always apologize when you know deep down that you're the one who has offended the person you're apologizing to. Don't let someone make you apologize for their own wrongs. They villainize you and tend to act the victims, yet you're the victim here. You have to stop saying no. You have to stop saying sorry for you to be able to exist with these people. No. And then I want you to accept that not everyone will like you. And this is something that my mom has taught me, and I'm glad that she's alive, and she keeps on telling me this each and every single time. Remember that it is okay people around you not liking you. In a crowd, you'll just like find, maybe in a scale of 1 to 10, maybe one person likes you, the rest dislike you, and it's very okay. You don't have to feel ashamed of that. Freedom begins when you release the need to be liked, mostly. And you also have to practice emotional honesty and emotional safety. And what do I mean by saying that you have to practice emotional honesty and emotional safety? It means that you need to speak your truth with grace. You know, your voice deserves peace. Your voice deserves to be heard. Your voice deserves to be to be heard and to be comprehended. You understand? And you can also let God validate you. You don't have to let human beings validate you. Remember that approval from God is greater than approval from people. And lastly, I'll tell you to surround yourself with people who respect boundaries. Mostly we stay in a society where people don't they don't understand what boundaries are. People don't really respect boundaries, and anytime they've discovered that you tell them a no, they'll call you toxic. They'll actually say that you're not a sweet person to be around with. It's You need to surround yourself with people who really respect boundaries. And what do I mean by this? I mean that the right people do not get offended when you choose yourself over them. Actually, boundaries is just like choosing yourself over people. It's choosing your mental safety, your mental well-being over other people's. You have to choose yourself first. And I just want to say thank you for listening to me. If you've not like gotten it clearly, you can as well hit me up, talk to me. I'll help you walk through this journey so well. So what do I mean by this, family? I actually want you to listen to me with your heart, that you are not born to be a shadow, you are born to be a light. You are not born to be a puppet. You are born to be a leader. You understand that. You are not born to be silent. Instead, you are born to have a voice. And remember that you are born to shine, you are not born to dim. Okay, so people pleasing is a habit, but remember that habits can be broken. You can always choose freedom, you can always choose yourself over everyone, you can always choose truth, you can always choose healing. And if this message touched you, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And remember, for professional voiceover services, reach us anytime at 0790 and you can email us through akhongvictory@gmail.com. So this is Joy Victory from Joy Victory TV, and I'm sending you peace, healing, and strength. See you in the next video. Bye.